Hey everybody, Jeff Holm here. Just going to do the treasurer report here for our AGM. Thank you for signing on a Sunday afternoon. Myself, unfortunately, I have a prior work commitment, so I'm unable to attend the meeting live. I'm actually traveling today for a trade show, so hopefully this will be a good, reasonable facsimile for you, so to speak. Uh, so I'll try to keep it brief. We are getting into some numbers here, so I know that can be a little bit boring for a few people, but I'm just going to give you a quick snapshot of we are at for 2023, and then I also worked up a budget for 2024. So as you see on the screen there, we're forecasting about $50,000 worth of revenue for our membership fees. That is an increase of about $8,000 over last year, or a 26% increase from 2022. I think if Brenda hasn't done it already, she will further in the call today. But we're well over 9,000 members. I don't know what the exact figure is, but I think no surprise to anybody that pickleball is exploding, and we're seeing new members all the time, and we really want to capitalize on that and obviously help grow the sport. I know I've brought in several new players. I'm sure everybody here has done the same. So. You'll see here in a second. So everything on the Excel file is actual data up to the end of August. I did have to do some forecasting for the last quarter. And I basically just used that same 26% increase from our 2022 numbers. 64% of our revenue is brought in through membership fees. So we're quite reliant on membership dues. So it's can be a bit precarious that way. We're looking at other avenues for supporting it, but right now we're very reliant on our member dues. So as you know, we sell the Pickleball Alberta jackets. We appreciate the support there. We're basically just at a break even there because a lot of the jackets we're having to ship out. We sold a few at some of the events through some of our partners like Poach, but I think most of them have been mailed out or shipped out, so there's a fee involved with that. Provincials, it may be a surprise, but it's not an income generator for us. In fact, it's our biggest expense, and I'll get into that in a few slides. So where we're at as of today, we're showing we could finish the year about a $2,500 surplus, but I don't know what our expenses are going to be, obviously, for the last quarter. So even if we do end up on the negative side of things, we do have a reserve in our bank account that will help us get through the year. So on the accounting side of things, income, membership dues, okay, these are real figures based on what we've brought in. As I mentioned, the last quarter, these are forecasted. That's why I've got them in green. But we've got some historical data like September. Typically, our membership dues bring in about 3%. October is about 2% of our memberships. November is 11, and December is just about 8%. So it made it a little bit easier for me to forecast there. So by the end of the year, we should bring in about $50,000 of revenue based on the membership dues. Apparel, so far year to date, it's been about $9,600. But as I mentioned before, with our expenses for buying the jackets and shipping, it works out to be, I think we've gained maybe $500-600. Okay. Paddles, our junior program, we invested in junior paddles. We want to get more juniors playing. We saw a huge explosion in juniors this year, and we're expecting bigger and better things. So we still have, I think we sold about 60 paddles so far. We still have a few more to go. But I think it's been a successful program. So total income, we'll probably come in at about 65,000 year to date. I apologize, I can't move my headshot. PowerPoint, in their infinite wisdom, only lets me move it after I've recorded. So So down in the bottom there, these are, now we're getting into expenses. So I'll get into just do a quick little snapshot here for you. I think I mentioned provincials, we paid over $15,000 so far. There's a few more bills to come in yet for that, probably another couple thousand. So junior paddles cost us about $8,400 year to date. Like I said, we've got a few more to sell. But one of the things we're doing to get more paddles out there for the juniors, because let's face it, that's where the growth is going to come from, is we're subsidizing about $15 per paddle. It does cost us $55 per paddle to bring them in. We're selling them for $40. They're a great starter paddle. They got the Pickleball Alberta logo on them. So, you know, it can do nothing but grow the sport. So on the expenses side, and again, I'm sorry, my head's in the way, but so you see, we invested in some banners for trade shows and events. The live streaming for being able to record and live stream the games at provincials cost us $5,500. Medals, it's going to be about $4,000. There's some travel expenses there for various things like coaching clinics, referee training, things like that. So, and then apparel, it costs us about $8,500 to bring in the jackets. The income, or what we sold them for, was about $96, and then there was about $1,000 in terms of shipping there. So. Other expenses, the junior program, it's going to be that's about $2,000 to get that rolling. We've had some office supplies, but like I mentioned before, our biggest expense is provincials. In that, it does include referee stipends, some travel. We did pay for some lunches. We had to build a shelter for, I think it was for Sunbreak, to do the live streaming. So, and there's a few $1,000s more to come there. So, the $3,000 PCNS fee, that's with the technology side of things with Pickleball Canada, and then there's obviously some investments in our website. So, total expenses, it looks like it's going to be about $63,000 for this year. Like I said, we're probably going to come in around a break even by the time the end of the year comes out, when all these zeros get kind of filled in with actual expenses. In terms of the budget, so I built the budget based on our proposal to do the $20 fee per member. I know when I first signed up about 2 years ago, I was shocked, to be frank, that our member dues were only $5. You know, I went through 3 kids in sports, and you know, I would have been extremely excited to see that, but I just, you know, it's not feasible with the way our program is growing. The game is expanding. We need to be able to reinvest back into the game, back into coaching, back into refereeing, and so, you know, that has to come from somewhere. And $20 for a year, I think, is still a fantastic deal. You look at tennis or badminton or hockey or volleyball, it's, you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars go to the provincial organizations. So I think this is going to allow us to make the game better for the recreational player as well as competitive players or tournament players. So based on this $20 per member, I'm forecasting about a $60,000 return or income coming in. That will allow us to reinvest. We feel, the board feel that there's a need for a full-time staff member. The board members are putting a lot of hours in. It's a volunteer position. You know, so we're doing it in our spare time. So this way we'll have somebody to be able to focus on Pickleball Alberta. They can actually bring in some more sponsorship dollars, support from government, support from corporations, and again, the goal is just to make our Pickleball Alberta a world-class organization. So here's the budget. So what I did is I took the $20 and I based it on 7,000 members. I just wanted to be conservative. So our revenue would go up on membership dues from about $50,000 to about $140,000. And I kept the apparel the same, and then competition expenses relatively similar. And our bigger expenses are going to be provincials, refereeing, and coaching. Sorry. So our board members put together a wish list, so to speak, on what we'd like to do to make pickleball Alberta even better. And that all came back. Well, we need to train referees, we need to train coaches, and which the board agreed. It's something we need to do to make pickleball Alberta a world-class organization. So these are all the budget is based on our board member suggestions, and then again, because of my head being in the way, but I'll be able to move it for when you guys, but for me I can't see it. So total expenditure or total expenses next year are going to be about $100,000. Okay, so we will see some revenue from that, and hopefully we can use that to grow pickleball Alberta, grow the sport, and hire a full-time employee to help us achieve that. So that's my presentation for today. I look forward to any questions you might have. You can reach out to me at through Pickleball Alberta, treasurer at Pickleball Alberta, and happy to answer any questions for you. And enjoy the rest of the AGM. Thank you. Bye.